injury attorneys at The Advocates can't actually prevent you from being in a cycling accident. They will be by your side to support you following your accident. Our legal services won't cost you a dime out of pocket. So when you need an injury attorney, call us. We're The Advocates, your Utah personal injury attorneys. You didn't deserve to be in an accident, but you do deserve an advocate.
This is the Monty Show, the truth in sports talk streaming. When you want unbiased opinions about your favorite team without the spin, all you have to do is find the Monty Show, streaming live and available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on YouTube. And now, here's Monty.
Hey, the Monty Show. I'm here 5 days a week, every day, 5 days a week. Unlike some people on the show, I actually sit here alone in the dark on Fridays when Jake's off. And even at that point, we're presented by The Advocates, theadvocates.com. The best injury attorneys in the business. Did you get bit by your neighbor's dog because they left the gate open? Do you know, in the next 6 weeks, more people will be bitten by dogs than you could ever even contemplate. If your neighbor is reckless and on Fridays they release their dog out into the population and it bites you, call The Advocates. Find them online, theadvocates.com, the best injury attorneys in the business. Car accidents, workman's comp. If you get hurt at work, please, I'm begging you, get a no-cost consultation. What do you have to lose by talking to The Advocates at theadvocates.com? Don't forget that, in fact, we are off on Friday because certain others of us don't want to work.
Such as in like yourself.
Certain others of us don't want to do a show Friday.
That's right.
Yeah, I got things to do. So, hope you enjoyed Caps Lock Friday last week. Ain't happening 2 weeks in a row. Just telling you
It's
now.
called Giving Friday, where we help people and we do things in the community. Well, I do.
Right.
Because again,
yeah,
I'll be here. I'll be here on Friday. Like I always am. I'll be here on Friday. The lights will be off.
Show up.
I'll be here by myself. Show a fade to black, and I'll still be here alone.
Yeah. It's really tough.
Much like I am the other 4 days of the week.
Yeah.
I just try to stay strong.
We have it is wedding season. So we have a wedding this weekend in Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
Are you looking forward to the getaway?
Yeah, it'll be a nice little weekend. We'll hang out in the beach cities, get some sun, get some nice chill vibes.
Are you looking more forward to Los Angeles or the College Football Super League, which is dead and not happening, according to everybody but Greg Sankey?
That's right, T.
I mean, do you see that seamless interweaving?
Just the professional transition into the conversation that, we've been telling you for, 6 weeks now, a month. Like, hey, Monty, the Super League's dead. Yeah, it's not dead. We told you it wasn't dead, and it's definitely not dead after yesterday.
Turns out the Super League is alive and well, unsolicited yesterday at the SEC meetings. Greg Sankey warned school to be careful about quick fixes when speaking about private equity. Private money. He makes mention without its name of the, quote, Super League, which he says did not consider academics in its plan. In my experience, those involved in private equity want to be paid back. Well, isn't that interesting? And I think it brings up a very interesting question about, is the Super League happening? And I think it is. When you have arguably the most powerful person in college athletics talking unsolicited about something, my guess is that it is being worked on a daily basis in the SEC and across college football. The Super League is on a path to being reality. And I know a lot of people don't like that. And I know a lot of people find it to be controversial. I'm telling you, it's not controversial at all. The Super League is inevitable, and it is necessary in these times where, for better and usually and almost always for worse, we all love to sue people and we like to be litigious. Well, watch what you wish for, right? You won your lawsuits, but what was the unintended consequence of winning your lawsuit? That more private money was needed because more revenue was needed, and the TV companies are tapped in their TV contracts. We've talked about it for years now. There's no more TV money. But what there is a super league funded by private entities where TV money will be moved, where you're going to see, in my opinion, whatever the entity that runs the Super League is going to make a windfall of cash for its participants by selling things like partnerships and sponsorships and TV ads, as they do now. This is not rocket science. The biggest question is, if we are playing an NCAA football championship game the Saturday before Super Bowl Sunday, what impact will that have on the student athlete? And it's the question we've asked for several months now. If we are playing, Super League playoff games in January, all month long, on multiple levels, at multiple sites at the same time, how is that going to affect the student athlete who, at some level, something else we've talked about regularly, at some level has to be competent in the classroom? How do you make that a mandate, and how do you support that football player being competent in the classroom? And Jake, I do not think that it was accidental that Greg Sankey, unsolicited, brought up the academic component of the College Football Super League.
I mean, I just don't know how you avoid it. I think the hard part with the Super League is that financially it makes a lot of sense for athletic departments and for college football, but you still have the classroom side of the conversation. And I don't know how that's going to get worked out yet. And this is the part of the conversation where I think the leaders in college football have to get together and decide, how they want to, first how they want to view the classroom, because I think that's an important piece. A lot of people will tell you, oh, well, is the classroom even all that important? Because at this point, the private money that wants to get involved in college football, as Sankey said, isn't even considering the classroom. They're simply saying, hey, we're giving you $1. We expect to make $5 back, right? Like, we're investing in your product. We want to make money back. And so that's great for college, football. That's awesome. Like, more money, obviously. But then what happens if, someone's not eligible to play? What happens if, there's a bunch of X factors that you sort of have to work through. So the classroom absolutely matters. I just don't know how they're going to, how they're going to work that in, and how they're going to get, coverage if a kid is not able to play because of the classroom. And furthermore, I would say, how do you say to a kid, hey, well, you're this incredible football player and you're going to the league and you're everything anybody would ever want, and frankly, you're the reason the private money is getting involved, but we're going to need to go ahead and make sure that you're at least getting this grade in that class. I think that's a very difficult position to hit in, but it brings me back to my original point of how we view college education versus college athletics, because it used to be the only reason you were playing college football is so you could get that college education. Like 20 years ago, that was the story. Oh, well, hey, little Jimmy from inner city, he's grinding his ass off on the football field and doing everything the head coach says because he's got to get that education. But now that NIL and the portal has happened, times are changing. We just haven't changed how we view the classroom yet. And that's what I think, Sankey's talking about, is how do we work through that?
Yeah. And I don't know the right way to put it. I don't know ultimately at the end of the day how this shakes out, but he didn't accidentally talk about academics being part of the Super League, because that's what he did. If you look at this tweet from Ross, he says it did not consider academics in the plan. So what does that mean? Hey, you guys need to put academics in the plan and we'll get it done, in my estimation. And in the people that I speak to, Greg Sankey is advocating for the Super League. This is not accidental. You don't accidentally say something like this when you are the power and stature of a guy like Greg Sankey.
Well, and I think when he's out here saying, hey, I'm warning schools to be careful about quick fixes. So what he's essentially saying here is, hey, don't just hit the easy button and take the check from private money because your athletic budget is not in a great place right now. Like, let's go ahead and hold off on that for a minute. And let's figure out what exactly the system's going to be for a football team's eligibility into the Super League. Meaning, hey, if you're gonna be in the Super League, you gotta have a certain standard accomplished in the classroom.
A certain je ne sais quoi.
Yeah, like you got to be, as a football team, let's say at a certain GPA as a squad to get in, I would guess. But I don't know. That's what I'm saying. There's a lot that remains unknown about how they will interpret the educational side.
Yeah, and you look at this model of the Super League, I think it's 80 teams. And I think you look at the balance that is in these 80 teams. I think you look at the underleague division, or however you want to put that. I think you look at what's out west. I think you look at the Midwest, the South, the Southeast. It's very common sense. You look at the Plains with BYU, Colorado, Utah, Iowa, Iowa State, Kansas, K-State. That could be one of the best divisions in college football. You look at the Southeast with Clemson and Duke, Florida State, Miami, NC State. One of the weakest divisions in college football. I look at the South, Greg Sankey country.
Yeah.
Bama, Auburn, Georgia Tech, Kentucky, LSU.
Georgia.
Ole Miss, Tennessee, Vandy, and Mississippi State. It's one of the better divisions.
I also think when you look at these divisions, another question that comes to my mind around like the Super League concept is, does the Super League replace the college football playoff? Is the Super League and that's what makes the most sense, right? But I think the one thing that we know about college football and the happenings that we get to talk about in this thing is crazy stuff happens, and all private money is interested in is making profit. So again,
they want their money back.
Yeah, and I think what's interesting too about that quote is like the obvious inference of, hey, like we need to make sure that if you're going to take that check, you're able to pay them back, because we don't want to be in a situation where private money gets involved and then doesn't make their money back and is pissed off about it, because that's also big time trouble. You can't have that happen. So that's why I say like the Super League model takes care of the, hey, private money got involved, will they get paid back angle for the most part, because you're going to have big matchups that really should take care of that investment on on the first level. But then the second level is like, how do you get qualified educationally? I think that's a really difficult question to answer. Like, I don't know how you would do that.
I think in talking to people that I know at the top of the television industry, this was the inevitable outcome. I mean, the TV industry wants this. The major players in sports television want the Super League because they want more big games. They want more big matchups. They want more big matchups throughout the calendar. And I think if we're talking about middle of August kickoffs through January and having a championship game on the Saturday before Super Bowl Sunday, that's good for sports TV. And I think everybody, and I want to say Ross is one of the guys that said it was dead. It's not dead because TV says it's not dead.
Yeah, I mean, the Ross tweeted publicly, like, this is how strong people feel about, or did at one time feel about the Super League not being a thing. Like, Ross tweeted middle of April that, hey, like, the Super League's dead, didn't think that this needed to be discussed or whatever. Like, there was some, and again, I'm not trying to rip Ross, but there was some arrogance about it. There was some like, hey, this is obvious. What do you mean the Super League's not dead? It's dead. Like, and we just always felt like, hey, it makes too much sense from a financial perspective for it to be dead. It's too many. There's too many ways for schools
and
to
none
benefit.
of the stakeholders that we know have ever said that it was dead.
Yeah.
And never, because there's too much money. There's too much revenue. And everybody got this boner.
Stay hard
over, oh man, you guys, you
money.
They signed the college football playoff TV deal. It's over. It's not over, because the contract is simply two entities agreeing on terms. And if the entities agree that that contract is no longer in their best interest, that contract can go away.
Oh.
Now, what that tells you is that ABC and ESPN are going to be the home of the College Football Super League.
Right.
I don't think there's any doubt about that. But if you also believe that one TV stakeholder is going to be the entirety of the College Football Super League, you're crazy. Because, again, remember what we've been telling you. They're going to model this after the NFL. And there is no doubt in anybody's mind that ESPN and ABC, certainly Fox, certainly CBS, and certainly NBC are going to have their cut of television rights when it comes to the College Football Super League.
Right.
Now, if you want to get to the College Football Championship game, that's going to rotate amongst the larger entities. I think you're talking about Fox and probably ESPN and ABC. Depends on what CBS wants to get into. Who knows? But that to me, that's how that will happen. And I think you look at how this will change. It simply means that there won't be college football conferences anymore. Now, does that mean the SEC ceases to exist? Not by any stretch of the imagination. It simply means that you are going to not have SEC football anymore. It means you're not going to have Big Ten football anymore, Big 12 football anymore, but you're going to have basketball, stick and ball sports, track and field. You're going to have lacrosse. But what it means is ultimately it's irrelevant if Notre Dame is in a conference for football.
Right.
It's irrelevant if Florida State is in the ACC or the SEC or wherever they end up. The Super League is bigger than the ACC's issues. And the Super League solves the ACC's issues. Because outside of football, the ACC is a very strong property. It is an elite basketball conference. Its lower tier sports are very strong. The Big 12 is an elite athletic conference outside of its revenue generating issues in football. It's already the financial model for college basketball. It makes too much sense. It makes too much sense not to happen. It'd be like you watching the show and not hitting the like button.
Yeah, come on.
Right? Like we know nobody does that. You come in, you hit the like button, you talk about how great we are and how nice Jake's new haircut is.
You like it? I mean, it's the Jay Taffa special. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we went and saw Jay Taffa last night.
Jake's
significant other is coming home tonight. So naturally, he had to get the short and curlies lined up.
Right.
But it'd be like you coming in here and not hitting the like button.
Yeah, come on, be better. Let's
Make
go.
sure you hit the like button. Let's get your thoughts in here. Is this the Super League model? Do you like this model?
I do like it. I think that it provides good matchups. I think that it allows for good games because that's all that matters, right? With the Super League, that truly should be the number one priority. Hey, we're trying to make the most money as possible on this. So how do you do that? Okay, well, you're going to limit travel. You're going to say, okay, well, we don't want schools having to pay for any more travel than they need to on their side. But then also we need to make sure we create great matchups. So we're going to want Bama, Georgia. We're going to want LSU, Ole Miss. We're going to want LSU, Bama. We're going to want, big time Big Ten matchup, right? Oregon, Ohio State. We're going to want as the best matchups we can possibly get within reason. Because again, if private equity is going to invest, we got to make sure we make their nut back plus some.
Their nut.
Yeah, their investment. If they're putting in $1, they got to make back at least $3 by most people's estimations. So that's why I say I do like this, and I do like the concept of what this particular graphic calls the underleague, the lower tier, and giving the smaller school the opportunity to go ahead and jump up into the Super League should they win and do what they need to do. I think that's great. Provides a lot of drama.
I think we all know you like making dudes their nut. I mean, that to me, that's your favorite part of the Super League. What?
Yes.
I know you're a big fan of that.
Yeah, making people their nut is really,
dilly.
I totally get it.
Yeah.
I understand it from a guy like you. That's your perspective.
Yeah.
He holes.
Yeah, I'm not going to sit in judgment. I mean, I'm not so interested in a dude making his nut. Like, I don't care about that.
Right.
I just want to see good football games.
Macaque.
Yeah.
Dude makes his nut on top of a good football game.
I mean, what, say less, man.
Well, I guess in this case, it'd be on the back of a good football game. Who am I to judge?
Right. Yeah.
Money's money.
Right.
You do what you do and stuff.
This shit's going good.
This feels awkward. Is real quick before we get to the comment section, and I'm sure the hyenas are out in force today. Is Greg Sankey, who's talking Super League unsolicited at the SEC meetings, is he the most powerful person in college sports?
Who else
is it
would
close?
it be? Yeah, I don't even think it's close, dude.
Is he more powerful than Charlie Baker?
Yes. Yes.
Is he more powerful than Kirby Smart, Nick Saban, when Nick Saban was at Alabama?
Yeah, I mean, I think he is because he's a commissioner, man. Like, I know the head coaches have power, but at the commissioner level, you're talking to everybody.
But
at that
isn't
point.
he more than a commissioner?
He is.
He sets the policy of college football.
Yeah, he is the guy shepherding the sport forward. There's no question.
And I think he will be the commissioner of the Super League.
As he probably should be.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, who else would it be?
Do you guys hate Greg Sankey? I find this fascinating. There's a significant amount of people who, for whatever rationale, straight up hate Greg Sankey. I don't happen to be one of those people. I believe that Greg Sankey has done a lot of really good things for college football. I think people hate Greg Sankey because Texas and Oklahoma, I mean, outside of Okie Light fans, because, Bedlam sucks. And they're I don't know, what's their cult leader?
Their Lord and Savior.
I'm a man.
Mr. Mullet with lice, says that, Bedlam sucks. I think most people blame Greg Sankey for Texas and Oklahoma leaving the Big 12, for Missouri and A&M leaving the Big 12.
Right.
And I just ask you, if your job is to bolster and strengthen the SEC, why are we blaming Greg Sankey? Because he did his job, right?
Right.
So should we blame Brett Yormark for Utah leaving for the ACC? Oh, wait, that's never happening. Should we blame Brett Yormark for Arizona State, Utah, and Colorado joining the Big 12? Should we blame the Big 10 for SC and UCLA pulling their coup? Because I'm just curious, if Carol Folt at SC rings your phone and says, I want to join your conference, are you saying, yeah, no, that'd be uncouth. Sorry. We can't do it. Yeah, I wouldn't say no either. So I'm just asking, why are we vilifying Greg Sankey for Texas and Oklahoma? Because I just don't see that as a valid reason.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a lot of people get burned out on, a lot of people get burned out on the SEC. I mean, we like in season, we talk all about how like it's basically the Alabama and Georgia show in the college football playoff and everybody else. Right. I mean, we've been talking about that for years. Like that's not new. And I think this conversation about Sankey is right up that alley, right? Like people get a little bit burned out on Greg. They get a little burned out on, hey, well, Greg's the guy. What Greg says goes. Like he's got the power. So I think people get burned out on.
So
that.
Is it jealousy then?
Yeah, I mean, I think
envy?
A little bit envy, jealous. Yeah, probably more envy than jealousy.
A fatal attraction,
probably. But if you are, I tend to agree with you. If you are like a Big 12 person, or if you're in Big 10 country, like if you're in Big 10 country, you should love Greg Sankey because Greg Sankey has paved the way for you to have, bigger and badder TV conversations based on his behavior. So like, hey, the SEC got this. We're the Big 10. We just expanded. That means we get that. I mean, that he's helping you. And as far as the Super League is concerned, it is going to be the SEC and the Big 10 for the most part. Obviously, the Big 12 will have schools in there, but the whole point of the Super League is the biggest and the best matching up to make people money. And as far as I'm concerned, those teams reside in those two conferences, like 90% of them. So you can not like Greg Sankey, but the reality is he deserves a lot of credit for, again, the word I always use is shepherding his conference into a power position and understanding, hey, like Texas and Oklahoma are available. What can we do?
So then isn't Brett Yormark just the scourge of the earth?
Well, I don't know that he's the scourge of the earth.
Sure he is. I mean, he got one of the, the hottest basketball prospects, to come in and sign in Provo. I just can't believe that, he has betrayed every other school that wanted Demon to, what is it, Igor or whatever the hell his name is.
Who the fuck is that guy?
Arguably going to be the number 1 pick in the draft a year from now.
Right.
Wow, Greg Sankey, you failed. Brett Yormark, you are just a POS for that kid signing at BYU. How dare you do the right thing by the school and the conference?
Whatever.
Damn it. I am tired of good business.
Get the hell out of here with that.
Right? Like, so for everybody, and I'm just guessing that there will be some folks that are like, Greg Sankey's Satan.
Screw him.
He is just the scourge of college sports. Okay. Texas calls you and they tell you that Sark and all of his empty whiskey bottles want to come to the SEC. Probably too personal of a shot there.
I don't give a piss about nothing but the Tide, baby.
They tell you that Oklahoma, who, like it's their job, beats the crap out of Okie Light in Bedlam.
And it sucks.
That Oklahoma wants to join your conference.
Right.
He's supposed to say no. No, Monty, Monty, I've had enough of this bullshit. Let's just clarify that if Texas calls the SEC shouldn't pick up that telephone.
No.
So wait, but I thought you told me Texas sucks and they're not back. So you should be happy that they left the conference, right? Monty, don't you start with these facts and shit.
Why don't you fuck off?
You would, so let me just, if Georgia and Alabama, by comparison,
Right.
called Brett Yormark. Hey, Brett, it's Kirby Smart, all SRT over here.
Yeah.
Heard you got some really flat, straight, well-paved streets there in the flyover conference.
Flyover.
Would just love to have the Bulldogs grace your truck stops there in the Big 12.
Show up.
Kirby, I'm sorry. I would love to talk to you about this, but it would be uncouth. And, here in the trucks flying over conference, we just would never disrespect Greg Sankey like that. And I'm sorry, we can't welcome you as the preeminent Georgia team. And we don't have dog parks, so the Bulldog would just crap on your rug. And Stanley Steamer, while a partner here, you know what I'm saying. It's really nice to talk to you, Kirby. All right.
That's what fucking ticks me to fuck off.
You watch for the 5-0. Put some radar detectors in those Dodges, okay? All right, we'll talk to you soon. That's what Brett Yormark should do. Hey, it's Alabama calling. It's Kalen DeBoer, and would love to share some Buckies with you at a truck stop.
I don't give a piss about nothing but the Tide, baby.
Nope, sorry, can't do it. We're loyal to Maverick over here in this conference.
You're
of course you're taking the phone call. So this idea that Greg Sankey, Monty, I've been telling you, it's not Greg Sankey's fault that Texas and Oklahoma left. It's Mike Gundy's fault.
That's what they do.
Because he hates happiness and good things like rivalry games. So should probably take some comments.
All right.
Here on the Monty program, presented by our good friends at Prize Picks, prizepicks.com. Back on the schneid.
Okay.
Back on the schneid.
Yeah, I took a day off because I lost 4 in a row. And
back on the schneid, Monty.
Yeah, so I'm going to have to get back on it tonight. And,
So I know how much we all love, adore, and appreciate Anthony Edwards. I took a flyer on Anthony Edwards, who was at 49.5 points, rebounds, and assists last night. And I want people to understand, right, that I took the under. 49.5.
Watch it. Did he have 50?
No. He had 49.
Yeah.
Chicken dinner, mother. And I would also point out that I counted on Kai Rizzle to come in under the 28.5 point rebound and assist number on Prize Picks last night. So I took less. And I tell you guys all the time that the Prize Picks app crashed on me. So I'm stalling so that I can
such as in like.
And I tell you all the time that Nico Horner is my secret crush. And the Cubs had a no-hitter for most of the game last night. And so, you look at Nico last night, and I had him for 1.5 total bases. And of course I took more. And so when he put up 0 and absolutely piped your boy.
Anita Dick and me.
Absolutely piped me. I just want to say thanks, Nico, for absolutely nothing.
Jag off.
2 of 3, $31.25.
That's a solid night, though.
Yes, it's a solid
night.
Yes, it's a solid
All
night.
right, let's see. What do the Hyenas have for us today?
Download the Prize Picks app. Use the promo code Monty to the 100% deposit matching.
Hey, Monty.
I should have stuck to basketball because Gafford would have cashed for me last night.
No basketball tonight, bro.
No hoops tonight.
Yeah, only hockey.
No hoops tonight. Man, the Rangers.
Yeah.
Ugh. Jay McClenahan says, my piano music. I love it. You're welcome. You're welcome. UW fan Jim Romadunze, shepherding the sport. I'd say he has the sport tied up in the trunk of his town car.
Same thing.
He's still moving them from point.
Yeah, dude. I mean, he's still showing the hopeless people the way.
And who doesn't want their mouth duct taped in a trunk?
Come on.
I've watched The Sopranos.
Come on, dude.
Are you kidding me? Some people get tired of them talking golf or basketball, but it is their show, so they can talk about what they want.
Okay, find it.
Where did this come from?
Where's the comment? Oh, well, this is a football show, man. Why are you talking about Prize Picks?
Strange clouds. A lot of people get burned out on you guys talking college football. That's funny. Because I think you're the only one who comes in on a regular basis and gets burned out on it.
And funny, you always show up.
Yeah.
So what do you mean?
Calford says, I hate Kevin Warren.
Damn.
Well, right now, Kevy's doing the job for the Chicago Bears.
The Bears.
They're still the Bears, not the Bears.
Yeah, and they're not going to have any parking in their new stadium, but it's fine.
Yeah, the Bears. It is what it is. Why is a Real Madrid player going to BYU? How'd that happen? Well, I mean,
the POS commissioner of the Big 12, just.
It's a pretty solid move for BYU basketball. I mean, if we're being honest, yeah. So did I get his name wrong? It's Igor Demon. I apologize.
Demon.
I mean, that's a huge. It cements the fact that, and I know that ACC basketball people absolutely cave in emotionally when I say this.
Well, now that Utah's in their conference, I mean, it's been a tough time for them.
Right. Right. Did you guys see did you guys see the statement yesterday? And it's almost as though it's like, Monty, I'm going to come on the show and tell you how stupid you are. and you don't know shit about nothing, you prick. Right? Like,
Utah's going to the ACC. Straight
It's
flyover
done.
conference.
It's done.
I love that. Remember what I told you last week? What did I tell you last week? Anytime you hear something that somebody say, oh, it's done, book it, it's over with, they're going. Okay.
And it's being reported by a guy who's never, ever, ever, even when there was a fire, has never, ever reported on anything college.
Y'all reading all this cap ass shit.
And I say this again, and we're going to talk about more social media stuff in a few minutes, but get off of this app occasionally. Save yourself. I know it's crazy. Go outside and like stand in the sun for a minute.
What?
People, social media is the scourge of the world because there's so many people on this app. And if you're watching on Twitter, on that app, that's their entire life.
Yeah, social media.
How many people can I get to like my video?
Money.
It's their entire life. Trust me when I say, I know this is crazy. There's actually life not on YouTube or X, Twitter, whatever it's called these days.
X.
On Insta, Snapface, Talk and Cock.
On Z.
Trust me when I say there's life outside of social media. Go find it. I know it takes effort. Go find it.
Right.
Because yesterday, Utah released a statement through Brett McMurphy. And I want you to read this statement. Ask yourself if you were contemplating a move to the ACC, would you come out and this strongly and categorically rip the person reporting it? I mean, not say that the person is wrong or the facts are inaccurate. Right? Like, you know how it is when somebody's like, well, they said that I was not wearing panties. That's not true. The facts are inaccurate because you were actually wearing boxer shorts instead of panties, right?
My bad.
Okay. The facts, those facts are not true.
They're not in dispute.
And you always can tell when somebody is denying a story. And maybe it's just me. I've worked in sports talk media and sports media and in the news business for 35 years or longer, whatever. I can tell when somebody issues a denial and it's like, oh, you're confirming it by denying it. Okay. And then there's the statement that Utah released yesterday on the ACC. We're proud to be entering a membership in the Big 12 Conference in the coming months and excited to join our colleagues and member institutions. Okay, boilerplate language. Here's the part where it gets cray-cray. A report over the weekend that suggested otherwise is completely fabricated and irresponsible.
Stay hard.
They said it's a complete lie. It's completely fabricated.
Dude.
They didn't say, well, that report's not accurate, Monty. They said it's completely fabricated. And we were talking to somebody very close to that situation. And this person said, I don't know where they get this stuff. We talked to every conference in August before the Pac-12 melted down. When it was happening,
right?
Utah talked to every conference.
Yep.
They had very serious conversations with the Big Ten and the ACC. Utah at no point in time, then, now, or anywhere in between, has ever had a serious, substantive conversation with the ACC about membership. I am told, and I was told again yesterday, that their conversations were very baseline. Hey, here's where we're at. What is X? What is Y? What is, okay, great. Nice to talk to you. Yeah, let's keep in touch if anything changes. Yet with the Big Ten, it was, well, what are we talking about financially? Hey, what are we talking about travel-wise? Like I was told that there was the group of the Pac-10 teams, Pac-12 teams that wound up joining. They had talked about, well, how are we going to get a group that can facilitate travel and mental well-being, mental health well-being for our student athletes. And Utah, at the time, wanted to join the Big Ten, but there was no invitation extended to them.
Right.
And I believe that Utah thought Utah and Colorado were going to join with SC, UCLA, Oregon, and Washington. I think both Colorado and Utah thought they were getting invitations that never came. And I think it led to some of the consternation we saw from Rick George and the boys at Colorado, because I think they thought they were going to the Big Ten. And it did not come to fruition. So in talking to people very close to this situation yesterday, it was very clear that Utah's never had deep, substantive conversations with the ACC. With the Big 12 and with the Big 10, they were serious. They were conversations of substance, making a deal, talking money, talking membership, talking alliances, talking scheduling, talking future expansion of their revenue opportunities where, hey, how much revenue are we going to get? What does our future growth look like? Talking about revenue sharing from the beginning. Never happened with the ACC.
Right.
So people telling you that the ACC and I love the reports that are like, oh, well, the ACC has a deal with ESPN. And so naturally, I'm sorry, who's the majority stakeholder in Big 12 football?
Well, it's Fox, isn't it?
Oh, no, that's right. It's ESPN.
Oh.
Right. Another interesting detail. And I can tell you again, who else is giving you this information? That Utah was very concerned about the streaming component and having the ability to be on stream, where anybody could get their secondary sports on a stream, because they feel like, specifically, I think Utah, from what I understand, would like to see their secondary sports, mainly their stick and ball sports, because they have put a lot of time into baseball. And I think you're seeing some of the fruits of that labor in baseball and softball.
Right.
But their stick and ball sports, I think they would very much like to see their women's and men's basketball getting more reach. And I think they would very much like to see their gymnastics program get more reach.
Yeah, dominant gymnastics program.
Specifically, those genres of their sports program. And I think that the Big 12 and ESPN provide that very seamlessly and easily.
Right.
So when that comes out, because that will come out, in my opinion, you will start to hear that. And you will start to see that streaming of secondary sports. Because the other thing that completely exposes people, well, man, they're tier 3 rights. Tier 3 rights don't exist anymore. So when you hear people, wow, Monty, BYU TV doesn't exist anymore. When do you have BYU football games on BYU TV anymore?
Yeah.
They don't, because that level doesn't exist anymore. Separate fact from fiction. So there you go. All right, let's get your thoughts in here.
Yes.
James, Stadium Guru, who loves Bucky's barbecue. Super League saves Oregon State and Wazoo. But does it save Okie Light? That's the question. Boyd Lake, the SEO king of America. Kevin Young is why Igor comes to Provo.
Agreed.
I think without Kevin Young, that signing probably doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Brett Yormark is a better man than Greg Sankey.
Bro, you're pushing your luck now, dude. You are pushing your luck.
Nick Saban is a better man than you are.
And Donuts, good morning. Sankey is a product of his league doing great, not the other way around.
You are up in the night, dude. Literally
so
up in
Greg
the night,
Sankey
dude.
has no, he gets no credit. He deserves no credit for the prosperity of the SEC.
Come on, guy. Come on.
I disagree with that. They hate Sankey because they hate the SEC. I think there's some of that. I absolutely think there's some of that. San Diego State Glenn. Did the creator of that Super League schematic get bitten by a dog or radioactive spider while walking in San Diego or something? Well, there is that.
What?
Well, I mean, if you look at what's not here, God, what's not here? If you,
Oh, well, I'm assuming San Diego State's
let's
not
see,
here.
Washington State, okay, Los Angeles, okay, UCLA, USC, Stanford, Cal, okay, the Bay Area, the PNW, Oregon State, okay, the state where over 254 people died last year from heat exposure in Maricopa County, Arizona and Arizona State. Okay. They seem to all be there. Okay. Well, maybe San Diego State's in the South. Let me check. Alabama, Georgia. No. Well, how about the Northeast, right? I mean, that makes travel partners, right?
Right.
Because we all got to have these travel partners. BC. Okay. BC's a better man than you are.
Monty.
Monty. Now, Monty, listen, we understand that Syracuse got the pro rata San Diego State deserved. Okay, don't see him in the Northeast. Oh, the Plains. My bad.
The Great Plains of the Flyover Conference.
Because we all know those tornadoes in San Diego wreak fucking havoc, right? Okay, they fit right into the plains with the tornadic activity that ravages Top Gun. There's tornadoes everywhere in whales' vaginas. I mean, have you seen the damage in Old Town from that ripper that?
Yeah, no duh.
There's no tornadoes.
So let me get this right.
So
you're
pro rata.
still waiting on the pro rata you don't deserve.
If there's a Super League, San Diego State should be in it. If
Agreed.
There's G5 representation.
Well, and the thing put it up one more time. Wasn't Boise State in the underleague?
Wait, let me check the Midwest. Cincinnati, no. Illinois, Indiana. That's not how you spell San Diego State. Louisville, Cheaterville, Pedo State Light, Missouri, Northwestern,
Pedo State heavy.
Shower Boys.
Yeah.
Okay. Ohio State, Jim Jordan's wrestling scandal, and nobody likes Purdue anyway, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, I'm really surprised. I thought maybe the Midwest, that's where they would have stuck.
Yeah, why are they spelling San Diego State with a B-O-I-S-E?
No, I thought they were spelling it with a UTSA.
Oh,
that's not
got it.
Wait, is there a T in San Diego State? Actually, there is. Is there an S? There is. The problem is there's no D at San Diego State.
Oh, Monty.
There's no D. It's a wee fence. There's no D.
It's a wee fence.
You need a D.
I need a dick and me.
Oh
You need
my God.
A lot.
And it all kind of fits together and everything.
That's what your mom said.
Biologics.
Wow, that was fun. Planes, then I'm happy. Okay. I mean, I like flying too.
So yeah, planes in the air or like the Great Plains of the Flyover Conference?
Do you mean the why is there somebody at my door? Who's this odd person standing at my door? That's kind of strange, but it's fine. Okay.
Okay, maybe it's Sankey.
It is.
Is it Amazon?
No, it's a landscaper. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
HOA and stuff. Switch Minnesota and Missouri in the Olanes.
What's the Olanes?
I don't know. Jay McClanahan, the Northeast League is my favorite league. The Northeast.
Okay, let's
BC,
see.
Maryland, Notre Dame. Pedo,
Notre Dame, our mother.
Pedo, Steeltown, Rutgers, Jim Boeheim, Bronco Mendenhall, Michael Vick, and Cleaning Coal. I mean, that seems like a pretty.
Yeah. Wow.
It seems pretty stacked. Pretty stacked. CenturyLink showing up at the Monty house. Oh, dude, don't even get me. Stop. No. We're not talking about that.
Dude, there's an update coming on that story that is so rough. It's so bad.
I sifted through all that.
Bro,
Oh
the absolute incompetence.
Steve Stepanek, good morning. San Diego State is looking like they suck. Okay.
Oh my God, dude.
I know that people are melting down over this. That this is I don't even remember who made this. This is not anything final. This is some dude.
It's a projection.
It's a guesstimate.
Yeah.
Memphis fan, relax. San Diego State fan.
Dude, chill.
Untie the tubes. It's fine. You'll get there. You don't like fans lose their mind over stuff. I just, Cam Harrison, good guys. Don't forget to like the show. Yeah. My God. Hit the like button. We've had 1,000 views and only 53 likes.
Hit the like button, man.
Be better.
Please.
Be better.
Please.
Yeah, Jake's begging you.
Thank you.
I do it for don't do it for me. I mean,
yeah.
Do it for Jake. Notre Lame wet blanket says, well, you don't have to like them, but you better learn to love them because they're better than Okie Light.
Don't talk crap about my team.
Dev MC, CenturyLink shows up.
Right.
We show up.
Yeah, they do. Anthony Eason, BYU upgraded with Kevin Young. No doubt about it. That's why we said at the time it's a win-win.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. Mike Smith, Kevin Young is hot, wears skinny jeans. Okay.
Now he just needs the backwards snapback.
Okay. Mark Hales in a receding hairline. Call the Plains Conference the John Denver because with those Rocky Mountains, John Denver is full of Rocky Mountain High, Call of Virginia. John Denver. I love the internet. Rando puts out a mock Super League and internet people want to storm the Capitol. Happens every day. Do we at least agree that social media is the scourge of our lifetimes? I'm not sure how we argue that.
Yeah, I mean, I think the lasting impact that social media has had is not good. Like, I like, as someone who does a show, like, I understand that social media is part of what we do on some level, but I got to tell you, like, we don't really even try that hard on social media. Like, we're not even out here. I mean, we're just doing the show, and my guy over here's got like what 500 plus DMs and like all this wild stuff happening on X of people hating. And it's like, dude,
it's funny to me that yesterday there was a string. Yesterday I had over 1,000 notifications when I logged in last night to go to bed. I log in, I'll flip through my feed.
Because you have to log out because the notification thing,
I turned off notifications on X.
Yeah.
I don't get notified anymore.
Yeah.
But in the notification bell, and it was people arguing over the ACC and the Big 12 and like Boise State fan losing their mind because Boise State is being disrespected.
Oh, right.
And I'm just like, okay. I read like 4 of those tweets and I was like, I'm done, dude. Like, I don't know.
It's easier without it.
How do you get so immersed in what's happening on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok that it becomes your identity? And it's crazy to me that you have people whose whole lives are tied up in, well, I need somebody to say I'm the source. Like, who gives it? Who cares?
Yeah.
What did that do for you? What, like, I look at this. Did you guys hear this Lexi Thompson story? Lexi Thompson, one of the best female golfers in the history of the LPGA Tour.
Right.
And maybe just golfer in the history of the LPGA Tour. I think qualified for a Women's U.S. Open at 12 years old. She is retiring at 29 years old. And yesterday, she did a press conference
Mm-hmm.
where she talked about the emotional toll that the haters took on her, and that people don't realize what golfers go through. And she was clearly talking about Grayson Murray,
Right.
who committed suicide over the weekend. And she was saying that the hyenas on social media hurt her and damaged her, and she didn't want to deal with it anymore. To which I say, well, why don't you just get off social media? Fuck them. Like, do you really need Twitter, Instagram? Like, Instagram has become the wasteland of life. Like, I used to really enjoy Instagram. And then you get people that DM you like the most horrendous things about nothing.
Right.
So I don't read, like, I've learned how to use the filters. So 9 out of 10 people, I never see your DMs. And I'm not interested in seeing DMs.
Yeah, and I feel like we're almost, like for a lot of people, certainly myself, coming around the spectrum. Like when social media first came out, it was all the rage. Got to be on it. Like, Instagram, Facebook, hell, I remember MySpace as a kid. Like, like we were just so hot to trot about it. And now I feel like we're coming out of the other end of the tunnel feeling like, dude, like this is just not necessary. I literally almost feel that way. Like, I'm not sure how much I would even use social media if like we weren't doing the show and stuff. Like if we weren't like doing the show and like, had, the following we have and everything, I don't know that I'd use social media all that much.
I wouldn't be, I think I would probably be on, I would make my Instagram account private.
Yeah. Like
I would not, it's just not worth it. Dakota Tubbs, guys, do better. Send Monty better arguments in his DMs. Well, you can. I don't read them.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing.
I've gotten to a point in my life, I really don't care what most people think. We have, like, on the show, I love getting into arguments with people and having passionate debates about Mike Gundy and or the NBA, or is Luka good enough, or what the Jazz are going to do, or
Rudy Gobert.
I'm all into the passion of the sports argument. But when you can't live in that realm and you get out and you get upset, it makes no sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
It makes no sense to me. Morning, friends. Hello, Elaine. Ferris Khan. Twitter X equals Twix. Not worth it at all. Left 2,500 followers when Elon took over. Instagram, TikTok are much better. Twitter is terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible. Big Daddy Magic. Hey, playa, you got a Penguin shirt on today. Yes, in fact,
and that's a nice ass shirt too. I gotta say,
I enjoy the
Jake
Penguin
Knapp on the PGA Tour started wearing Penguin, and it's become all the rage.
I love it. They're comfortable. Morning, Elaine. Calford says. Morning, Elaine. Mike Smith says. Loner phone.
Oh, this should be good.
Love the show, but Monty needs a thicker skin, and I get that he's a proud guy, but see, you're one of the guys that I block you on everything because you're just an asshole. Like, you're the guy who loves to be super negative, and like Loner Phone's the guy who kicked himself out of our members only group on Instagram. It's like, I'm going to sue if you don't put me back in. You're literally in DMs threatening to sue people.
Yeah.
Because you couldn't hang in an Instagram group.
And then you think that we're going to put you back in after doing that.
And
okay, dude.
The original reason you got blocked, and the reason I don't read any of your messages, is because you just say like nasty, terrible things, and then you apologize after you say it.
And you think that fixes it.
So I don't care what your DM says, so I'm never going to see it. And then you come in the comment section and say, I need thicker skin. Well, I don't need thicker skin. I just don't. It's why I don't read your comments anymore.
Yeah.
Even this one, I accidentally clicked on it. Like, I purposefully ignore your comments because of how rude and negative you are.
Yeah.
And it's guys like Loner Phone I don't understand. Like, what happened to you that you feel like you have to get on social media and get after people and insult them? I've never understood that.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of, and this doesn't apply, like there's over the years, there's been there's a bunch of names, the OGs, the long times on this show know the names, right? But it's a pattern that we've personally watched develop on the show where somebody will show up and they're hot to trot as a new person. And then, when they get, their bag slapped in the comments for saying something dumb, they take it all personally. And then it goes into my DMs or your DMs. And then they'll apologize. And then they'll be like, oh, hey, man, I'm a members only now. And so we'll add you to the chat. And the same cycle repeats itself. And I'm just at a point where it just doesn't mean that much to me, dude. Like, it doesn't at all. Dude, I appreciate the people that support this show and are in the members only chat and have been in there, for a long. Mike Smith as a good example. Dude, we appreciate you. We appreciate the support. But I'm just telling you now that group in this comment section is not here for someone just being totally mean and being, that type of person.
And for no reason.
Yeah.
Like it's sports.
Yeah.
In this Lexi Thompson story, one of the great examples that I always use is, as men, we have no ability to control ourselves talking to women.
Mm-hmm.
So there are guys out there that say the most heinous, awful things. Just because Lexi Thompson has different biological parts than you do.
And what's really interesting about what she said is, like, in watching the video, is that, and it's all over X, you can find it easily, but in watching the video, like, it's very clear that she's not lost the love of golf. Like, it's not about the game. It's about all the negativity and, like, the stuff that pro golfers experience. Because I genuinely think golf is one of those sports that people just don't know anything about. You have no idea, like, what the grind is to be a professional golfer. Like, you're going to play your event and then you have to practice literally most of every day during the week. Just
before
to keep
you, like, when you're in a tournament, before you play your round, you go play your round. Then after you play your round, and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, all you're doing is swinging the club thousands of times a day. Tiger Woods talks about the fact that when he's not playing in a tournament, it's every day at least. He has a club that touches a golf ball 1,000 times a day. Let that sink in. 1,000 touches of a golf club of any variety to a golf ball. Do you understand how much work that is?
So if you break that down, right? Like, so that's, your average, and I don't know what Tiger's setup is. Obviously, he's got a whole setup at his house, of course. But, like, if you just take a driving range, any driving range to the public, your average bucket of balls is about 80 balls, usually, something like that. So if you figure, okay, your putting practice, you're probably hitting 300 putts, right? Or so. Your swinging practice, irons, driver, and all that, that's probably 500-600 swings. Like, I'm not even kidding. That's probably, for a guy like Tiger, who's as gifted and as hard a worker as he is, I mean, I wouldn't put it past Tiger to hit 5, 6, 7 buckets on his irons and then hit, probably another 3 or 4 at least on his woods and driver.
Yes.
And I haven't even gotten into the short game yet, and with wedges and all that. So I'm just telling you, man, like, yeah, is it a cushy lifestyle, like making millions playing golf? Like, absolutely. But at the same time, you got to perform to get paid.
Yeah.
And we were looking at it this past weekend while we were watching some of the golf. And this past weekend at the Charles Schwab, if you made the weekend, but you finished, I believe it was 70th, last place, you made $14,000 for the entire weekend. So, and you're paying for your room, you're paying for your travel, you pay for all of that. So you got to finish like top 25 to really start making like comfortable, not think about it money. And that's not an easy thing to do. So when she's out here on the dais talking about, hey, like all the haters and the stuff we go through, I haven't even gotten to media obligations yet.
Yeah, it's wild. And I just don't know why you can't be nice. Say something nice to somebody today.
Yeah.
Like, be positive. Be a light in the world. Don't come in my DMs all pissed off and insulting people and then apologize. Like, that doesn't work.
Yes.
Be nice to people.
Yes.
Bring niceties to the world. Yes, Steve, you have to have respect for people.
Yes.
I wish you had thinner skin on that forehead as the light bounces off in his blinding.
I'm going to need you to turn the lights off again. Like, we're going to need to just drop the lighting down in here. Wouldn't want to hurt people's vision.
The glare is
right.
Anthony Easton. Social media allows beta males. Beta males. I haven't heard that in so long. Are you a beta?
Dude.
Do you even live?
To act like alpha males without having their brakes beat off of them. Yeah, because there's no, it's what I say about people on this show. Like, you think because you have a keyboard that you're a tough guy. I'm fine with that. You do you, man. But the best part is you'll call somebody out and they'll be like, I didn't do that. Okay.
The concept of, and again, whether this is college football, folks in Florida, our comments section, the best and the worst thing that's happening right now is people will do or say something and then not be cool with the consequences of that. So yeah, go ahead. Run your mouth, like call us a bunch of names, do what you need to do, bro. We are not obligated or required to indulge.
Yeah, Gary. We will run you out of the members only group if you come in being likes to fight guy.
And it's happened multiple
and
times.
Loner Phone found that out the hard way.
Multiple times, dude.
He ran himself out of that group and then begged to get back in. Doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
Like we've had 3-4 guys get run out of that group because if there's a problem in our members only group, hit the join button for $10 a month.
Yeah.
You get into our members only Instagram group.
And it is a wonderful group of
It
people,
is a
dude.
good group of dudes.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun.
There is dudes who have been in there a long time, and most people be like, hey, dude, this guy's a problem, or I don't like this, or I don't feel good about this. And there's a bunch of guys who like 4, 5, 6 dudes are like, hey, this guy's a problem. Hey, can you send him a note? Can you? And those guys never last. They never last. It's remarkable to me. Brandon Butler, the only reason I am on the gram is for the members only group. Totally worth it if you can hang with most of our outspoken members. It's always a good time in there. Dakota Tubbs says, I'll fight you, Gary. Yeah, every day somebody calls Dakota Tubbs Putin in that group.
Sort of a natural reflex.
Yep. Matt Ritson, almost like duck season, like rude to Monty in Utah football is what it is. WTF craps, I can't afford golf. I can't afford golf either.
The other side of golf,
I can't afford it
either. We get
either.
our haircut yesterday, right? We go see Jay Taffa, best barber in Utah, right? And he's thinking about getting into golf as a new golfer, never golfed before. And I said, bro, you quickly come to realize that your golf ball fund better be way up, dude. I mean, it better be up.
The bad days are really bad.
Like I'm talking about on the bad days as a new golfer, you're burning probably a box and a half at least. And that's $40-$50.
I've played golf for years now, and I picked it up full time again last year. A couple weekends ago, I played 11 holes with one ball, and I thought that was the greatest thing ever. And then, some asshole screwed that up, but I thought that was the greatest thing ever. 11 holes. My goal this year is to play all 18 holes with one ball. It's tough to do. I can't have fun, take a joke, a little ribbing. This is not the place for you. If you can't have fun, exactly right. If you can't have fun, take a joke, a little ribbing. This is not the place for you. Totally agree. Bobby Fowler. The best thing about this show is all the fandom of every college team across the country. I love how the Homer fans like me stick up for their team, but people are getting carried away. I just wish that you have
proverbial you.
Yeah, that people had the ability to not. This is not life and death.
Yeah,
you guys.
Yeah,
it's not life and death.
Yeah.
If you haven't figured it out yet, we're just here having a good time.
Yeah, that's part of why we made the changes we made. I mean, we wanted it to just be a good time, honestly.
And it's interesting you bring that up because I was talking to my wife about this the other day. Like we used to have like 10 sponsors on the show. And it got to a point where it wasn't fun anymore. Dealing with all our membership group had ballooned and everybody's like, oh, you're making more money. Yeah, true. But it becomes a job.
Yeah. It turns into something else.
It was not enjoyable. And then you run into the fan who's like, oh, it's not fair. Or it's fair or unfair. It's not fair or unfair. It's just sports talk. It's just sports talk. That's it. I very much, this show is enjoyable again. Doing this show for 2 hours, couple of partners that provide the financial stability to do the show, like allow us to work on projects outside of the show. Like,
yeah,
it's become enjoyable again. So the comment section that is crazy, you just aren't, it's not a thing anymore. It really is not.
This is what I'm talking about. I know. Last comment by Buddy here. I didn't kick you out of anything, dude.
No one ran me out of the group. Jake kicked me off, but again, sure. Yeah, again,
dude,
this is, and I'm serious. This is the last time I will ever read a comment.
Come on, dude.
No one ran me out of that group. Jake kicked me off. We don't kick people off of anything. Have we banned you on YouTube? No, because that's bad for business. Guy, you kicked yourself out and then begged to get back in. Do you? If we're such terrible people and this show's so bad and Jake is just an overlord.
You're in my DMs yesterday. Literally DMing
Read the DMs.
me.
Read his DMs.
Bro, you're in my DMs yesterday. And let me get him real quick. Yesterday, let's see, 9:09 a.m., hour after the show, going on about my day, right? First DM. Today was funny, and no, I do not imply or call you guys lazy. That was your own paranoia. I did say if one guy is out, you could have a wingman or gal in the on-deck circle as a guest host.
Intern. You said an intern, and what you're referring to there is RJC Man said, hey, why don't you just have an intern host the show when you guys are out? Like, it's just, it's no big deal. This show's super easy to do.
And I'm not going to, there's probably 4 more here about this whole thing about, he cracked his screen and called that. Like, dude, you're DMing me, bro. Like, I'm not, like, with all due respect, like, we're not friends. I don't even know who you are, bro. Like, I didn't kick you out of anything. I don't have time. Like, I don't think you understand or appreciate the fact, like, what we do outside of the show. I don't have time to be like, okay, well, RJC Man's being a jagoff today. Let's kick him out. Or Alex Cooley's a complete buffoon about Rudy Gobert right now in our group chat. Let's kick him out. Like, I don't have that kind of time.
Who's got time for that?
I don't have that kind of time. Like, be better, dude. Like, come on, man.
It's so funny to me that you're
now.
such you're a guy, and this is the perfect example of Lexi Thompson.
Yeah.
You say the most horrific things and then deny it. And then say that we have the bully pulpit. It's been nice knowing you, kid. Good luck.
Like, have a nice day, dude.
Do you understand? It just doesn't fucking matter to me.
Yeah, look at Brandon Butler. That is a hell of a revisionist history. Completely agree, bro.
Yes.
Completely agree, man.
Yes.
Like, come on.
Yes, it is. Damian Fowler and Wasikowski was the same. Yeah, but Wasikowski lost his mind over politics. He's a Trump supporter, and
Wasikowski was different because it was just his opinion. Like, he wasn't somebody who, I mean, he had some days in here in the comment section where he was kind of an asshole about it, but Wasikowski was just a dude that's a Lions fan from Detroit, Trump supporter, shared his political views. That didn't necessarily align with what most people here think. And it's fine, dude. Like, again,
I really don't care about if your opinions are different than mine. That makes the show go.
It's the essence of it.
Here's what people don't understand. When you disagree with our opinion, it makes the show go round. That's what conversations are about. It's when you do shit like get into DMs and insult people aggressively. And then like, oh, I never did that. Like in this case, or you get so wrapped up in something around politics that I can't talk to you guys. Get out of here, dude. It's just dudes sitting around on a bar stool talking sports. That's all this show is. That's it. And sex comes up and burger brackets come up and politics come up.
Yeah.
And
which is what it's about, dude.
The internet comes up and the jerk who drove off the road in front of us the other day comes up, and losing weight and what we eat and how your relationship is and why you're still a virgin. Like,
yeah, I mean, these are all serious conversations
that dudes have at work, on the golf course, throwing golf clubs, hitting great golf shots. Well, like all this stuff. We're going to argue over the best burger bracket here in a minute. That's what this show's about. And then you have people who it's like life and death. And I'm not here for it. Not here for it. Boyd Lake, Rudy Gobert slammed in the members only group. Man, I'm missing out. All right, let's talk a little NBA. How about Anthony Edwards last night? Anthony Edwards, to his credit,
Right.
to his credit, won them that game last night. He was a big reason. That jumper he hit with 2 minutes or whatever to go, and that three-pointer at the top of the key by Karl Anthony Towns, and the fact that Cat did not lose his mind when he picked up that fifth foul, and the fact that the T-Wolves actually defended and used a flex like an amoeba type zone is the only reason they won that game last night. And Luka wasn't capable of hitting a free throw late in the game that probably changed the flow of that game pretty significantly.
Yeah.
So is the series over?
Yeah, I mean, I still think they're going to lose a series. I think that are they capable of coming back? Yeah. The facts are, the numbers are very much against them, obviously. And I think that, my only critique of last night for the T-Wolves is what Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns were doing in the post-game presser, dude. I don't want to hear about Micah Parsons and shoes. I don't want to hear about, like these happy-go-lucky vibes and everything. I want the Kobe mentality, dude. I want hey, our job's just getting started. We won one game. We got 3 more games to win. And we're going to take this thing one game at a time. Tonight's done. We're on to the next game, because the reality is next game might be your last game. And I didn't love, and I love Anthony Edwards as a player, dude. I think he's a phenomenal talent. He will be the face of the league in 2 years. Like, I think everybody agrees. Love the guy. But he's got to start to understand what leadership actually looks like.
Yeah.
And in the post game, it shouldn't have been like this joking around with reporters and talking about being back for game 6. Like, that was cool against the Nuggets because you had a way to beat them consistently, right? Like you did. Here, I'm not confident you do. Like, you're one play away last night with Cat from losing that game by probably 4 or 5 possessions. One play away, one decision away by Cat, and you're going home, and we're not joking about shoe sizes. So I didn't love that as much, but he deserves a lot of credit for the performance last night. Karl Anthony Towns, a lot of credit. Let's talk about Rudy Gobert. And I'm just going to keep saying it. This dude gives you consistency. Absolutely. Right. And I'm going to keep driving home the point. This is one of the best, if not the best, rim protector in the game. There's no question about that. In the playoffs, in half-court basketball, he's a liability, and there's no getting away from it. Absolutely none.
13 points, 10 rebounds, an assist, a block, 5 fouls, +4 last night. Karl Anthony Towns, who fouled out, +15, 25 points, 5 boards, and assist. I think Rudy Gobert's biggest issue is, as soon as he gets outside the paint, the guy's a tree stump. And they got burned on several possessions playing that zone, and I think they only played it 4 trips down because they couldn't defend the corner 3. And you want to talk about a guy that deserves credit. Has anybody noticed that Jaden Hardy is absolutely exploding right in front of our face? Like, those threes he hit last night against the zone,
clutch,
unbelievable. And I think that's why Rudy Gobert is such a liability. That does not happen with Karl Anthony Towns in the game,
or Naz Reid.
Well, Naz Reid when he's making shots, but I think that the series isn't over. It is highly unlikely that Minnesota is going to win this series. It's never happened in the Western Conference Finals. I'm pretty certain it's 0 times ever has a team come down from 3-0 or come back from 3-0 down. The series is not over, but
here's all I would say.
Very slim.
If I'm the T-Wolves, this is my angle that I'm trying to work. I'm trying to, as you get deeper in this series, and obviously it starts with this next game, I would try to fatigue Luka. We've seen it before where at the end of games in Luka's career, fatigue can set in. Now, he looks to be in phenomenal shape right now. He looks to be in some of the best shape he's been in quite some time, frankly. But if I'm them, you need to crack that duo somehow. So you're not going to stop Kyrie Irving from doing what he does, right? Like you're not going to probably get him in foul trouble or get him to stop scoring. But Luka to me is the guy where I'm saying, hey, let's get him in some defensive matchups that are not good for him. And let's start getting him in some foul trouble. Because that's the thing that I don't see the T-Wolves doing offensively. Like they were better offensively last night, but the intent to get the Mavericks in trouble is not there right now. And they talked about it on the broadcast last night. I thought it was a really interesting point. In the Nuggets series for the T-Wolves took the series personally. Like there was disdain for the team they were playing. It doesn't really seem that way right now with the Mavericks, right? It just seems like, oh yeah, these two are great scorers and we just got to figure it out. And I'm curious if that changes at all.
Well, and I think Lively's concussion, neck strain, call it what you want. They missed Lively desperately last night. I'll even go as far as to say if he played last night, they win that game. And if he's not coming back for game 5, Minnesota's going to win game 5. And if this gets past tomorrow night in Dallas, I have real fears for the Mavericks because, one, I think at some point Minnesota is going to stop fouling Luka every chance you breathe on that guy, the official's blowing the whistle.
Right.
You've got to stop sending him to the line. He's scoring double-digit points at the free throw stripe every single game. You've got to stop that. They shoot the Mavericks shoot the free throw too well to send Kyrie to the line, to send Green to the line, to send you've got to stop doing that. But I think you also have to expose Gafford in the pick and roll. Make him defend above the arc, because I think that's such a critical thing. You saw Jake and I are watching the game last night, and you're looking at Maxi Kleber, who just can't shoot the 3 right now.
No.
That shoulder's not good. He's only in there because Lively's out. And if you're a Mavericks fan, dude, you had better be hoping and praying that Lively comes back for 5. I doubt we'll see him in 5. If this gets back to Minnesota for 6, I think Lively will be there. I hope he's there because, man, the kid was just balling out. Like he was really important. And I think Gafford and PJ Washington, and this is that fine line that Luka walks. Can we get more drive and kick Luka? Because if we get more drive and kick Luka, it gives the Mavericks an opportunity to isolate guys like Rudy Gobert.
Yes.
But if drive and kick Luka goes away and we get spin in, double team, turnaround, fadeaway, jump shot guy, that's all well and good when it's going in. But Luka, what was Luka last night? 4 of 11 from 3, I think. That's not good enough.
Right.
Luka's got to be 40% from 3, or they're going to need Kyrie to score 20, 25 points.
Yeah.
I just think that the Mavericks offense is so combustible on both ends. Flame on when Luka's shooting well. But dude, that thing will burn to the ground if Luka's cold.
Yes.
And it's terrifying if you're a Mavericks fan.
But if you're the T-Wolves, put him in that position. Get him in foul trouble. Get him going against Anthony Edwards. Give Anthony Edwards the ball against Luka and get him in foul trouble. That's what you have to do, because the Mavericks are not playing with any type of fear or intimidation right now. They're just playing games and doing what they do. And, they're not stressed at all. And obviously, they've earned that right. They're up 3-1 now, but I just think that you have to get those two guys, and specifically Luka, in my opinion, playing tighter,
100%.
Feeling a little bit more on edge, feeling more uneasy.
Get Luka Doncic to bitch at the officials.
Yes.
And you're gonna have a much better chance to win the game.
Yes.
Get him yelling at the official. And much to the Mavericks' credit, I look at the bench production last night. I don't ever want to see Dante Exum play in an NBA game again, especially not in the playoffs. But I thought Green and Hardy gave you some really big moments. And Kleber, as much as that guy couldn't find water from a boat last night, had some actual really, I thought that the rebound he got was actually really important. But then again, I asked myself, how does PJ Washington only go 3 of 13 last night? Well, because they lost. Okay. How does Gafford go 6 of 6 from the floor and wind up a -1? Like you can just see the imbalance that happens when Luka takes 21 shots and nobody else is over 20. It's a tough road to hoe. Now, I'm also going to tell you, I don't think there's any chance that we can count on Karl Anthony Towns scoring 25 points in Game 5. I think that Karl Anthony Towns is a hell of a player who, if you look at his game log, is not 25 points a night good. I think he's very much the 15, 16 points a night guy. Yeah. And what happens last night if he only scores 16 points?
Yeah. And I think, going on the road last night and, you knew you needed a performance and he gave that to you. And I think, and this is why I say, like, I don't know if this is a Finch thing or like their coaching staff, but I just quite literally don't think that they're putting enough emphasis on getting to the free throw line and getting there consistently, get into the bonus quickly. Like, the one thing that I will say about Cat is when he's going downhill, dude is damn near impossible to stop. Like, he's so strong and so agile that the only way you're going to stop him is like the Kleba charge last night, where Kleba saw him come in, just stepped in his way, took the charge. Okay, cool. But 9 times out of 10, that's not going to happen. So I just, the Wolves need to utilize the whistle more.
And if this series goes back to Dallas, all bets are off.
Yeah.
You got to win in Minnesota tomorrow night.
And you damn well better with all that junk you talked last night in the postgame, man. And I get it. He did it before. He did it in the Nuggets series. And I'm cool with it if you're winning. That's fine. But there will come a time where you say, oh, we'll see you in Game 6. And you fumble in Game 5.
Is he Anthony Edwards? Is Anthony Edwards the face of the NBA?
If he's not, he's close, man.
I mean, who else would even it be right now? I think LeBron's probably still in the conversation. By the way, did anybody see Bronny? Bronny is staying in the NBA draft. He was the number 2 3-point shooter at the Combine. He did a pro day at the Lakers facility. And for the 5th time in a workout setting in front of NBA scouts, he did not miss a single 3-point shot. And the shocking number for me is that at the NBA Combine, he was the number 2 ranked strength and explosiveness player at the NBA Combine. So he's number 2 in 3-point shooting, and he's number 2 in explosiveness and strength.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's wild to me because this cat could not compete on most nights at USC. And somehow, and I'm guessing, well, open heart surgery will do that to you. He looks like a completely different guy now than he was 6 months ago at the start of the basketball season. And at any point after the first of the year, in the last 4 months, he just looks like a different dude. He's explosive and he is shooting the lights out right now. So I think LeBron has to be in the conversation. Steph doesn't feel like that guy.
Not right now.
But here's the other thing. A guy like, look at Boston won the East. Is Jason Tatum the face of the NBA? Doesn't feel like that.
No.
Is Jaylen Brown? Luka Doncic. Is Luka the face of the NBA? Not a chance. Not a chance. But Anthony Edwards, wearing a Malcolm X t-shirt last night, joking about Mike Conley's pants, hitting a big shot in the 4th quarter. Michael Jordan's offspring. That's the face of the NBA, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I think you have a lot of other contenders. Certainly Victor Wembanyama would have to be there. He's French.
Certainly.
I think this is Shohei Ohtani in baseball. I think you can say that Shohei Ohtani is the face of Major League Baseball. I still maintain it's probably, if the Yankees win again, I think you have to say it's Aaron Judge.
Right.
But
I mean, I think it's too.
Can Victor be the face of the NBA when he is not relatable to most NBA fans?
Yeah, well, so that's kind of what I was going to say is I think it's two categories. So, like globally, yeah, I think Victor's the face of the league. I think globally, if you're overseas, Victor Wembanyama and his path is what you're watching. I think, obviously China's a huge market for the NBA. Steph does huge business over there. I mean,
but this is the Luka argument.
Yeah.
Like Luka, I look at Luka is an international superstar.
Yeah.
In any corner of Europe, I think in Asia, he's great. But I think there is this thing with the officials. To me, the flopping and this stuff with the officials is a real turnoff. And it's becoming a thing in the NBA. And I just think Luka's biggest issue is he's not likable because I think people view him as selfish, which I think it's awfully hard not to.
Yeah, I mean, there's a big part of him who's selfish, yeah.
If Luka Doncic wins a championship, I think that completely changes. Because he can't win a championship playing the way he's played his entire career. He will have to, if drive and kick Luka comes back to life in this series and they make it to the NBA Finals and win, drive and kick Luka will have come back to life.
100%.
And I think that's when he ascends much further. Right? Because you can't, if the guy wins a championship, you can hate he bitches at the officials. But now, and I think most of us that cover the NBA on a regular basis and have my first real generational superstar was Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan didn't get over, and Michael Jordan was not likable until they won a championship. And I think Luka's in that exact same spot because you can't question the way the guy plays. Well, maybe that's not the right way to say it. You can't question his ability.
Right.
He's one of the best basketball players in the world.
Yeah.
But Luka is very hard to like. You have to be a Mavericks fan to really respect and like Luka Doncic, whereas Steph Curry's universally liked and loved.
Yep.
A guy like Joel Embiid is universally liked and loved.
Oh, look at LeBron when he came into the league. I mean, LeBron had such a different set of circumstances that he was working with. Like LeBron had the shock factor, meaning it was like, oh, like this kid coming out of Akron at the high school level is going to jump into the league. And, he comes in and dominates the league right out of the gate and has kept dominating for like 20 years. And it's what I always say when I compare, when people want to make the comparison of like Victor to LeBron or like a modern day today player to what LeBron did when he was young. The league was so different then. Like 20 points back then is probably 35, 40 now because of the way the game's officiated and how soft it is. So I think that people liked LeBron a lot. There was that sticker shock. There was that, hey, look at this kid just dominating the league. Holy cow.
He won.
Yeah.
And this, again, I go back to Luka.
Yeah.
Luka's got to win. Luka, because now, and I think it's very true. I think Luka is a black hole. I think, and we heard this a little to a lesser extent with Porzingis, although Porzingis was a massive disappointment in Dallas. I think people around the NBA will tell you that Luka and Porzingis were toxic because Luka wouldn't give up the ball. And I think you've seen Kyrie repeatedly talk about taking a second role. Because there's a lot of times where Luka would rather shoot over a double or triple team than kick to the corner and find an open PJ Washington. But what happens when Luka kicks to the corner and finds an open PJ Washington?
Yeah.
They are almost impossible to beat.
Yeah, well, and being a black hole works both ways, right? So obviously being a black hole has negative impact, but it also means that your gravitational pull, if you will, of the defense is there. So yeah. Drive and kick Luka is lethal, especially when PJ Washington's knocking it down. And I don't think that Maxi Kleber is going to get that shot back this season.
No.
I think that shoulder is just too limited. I think that, it's his first game back last night. We'll see what he's like. But I'm just telling you, man, I think Anthony Edwards has a chance to really, take the top mount as far as face of the NBA. And to do that, you have to win. And I think he's got the goods right now. So, like, think of it this way. If they were to come back and beat the Mavs and go on to the NBA Finals, that's one of the greatest comeback stories we've ever seen.
Yeah, Luka's not going to let that happen. I think the Mavs are going to win this series. And I actually would favor the Mavs in a Boston matchup. You want to talk about face of the NBA? I think Jalen and Jason are
right there,
but not good enough. Not good enough. If you asked me right now, would I rather have Luka Doncic or Jason Tatum? I think Luka wants to murder people. And I would rather have Luka Doncic. Because if we're strictly talking about I want to win, I think we watch on a pretty regular basis, or at least have historically, Jason Tatum's nuts shrink into his abdomen in big moments. Right? Well, that's probably a little
He's
too
been to the
graphic,
finals a ton, dude.
Luka's never been to the NBA finals. Luka has to ascend this. He's got to get over this bump here and win the Western Conference Finals, and then go to the NBA Finals, win the NBA Finals, win the NBA Finals MVP, and then parade that trophy around Dallas like ain't nobody ever seen it before in that town.
Also have to say, too, with Tatum, this finals run has been a cakewalk, dude.
Easy.
Yeah, I mean, you've played largely injured teams, missing their best players. Like, the East has been a cakewalk for the Celtics, and that's why I say and I've been saying this. We've talked about this repeatedly all year. Like, whoever comes out of the West will have been, battle tested, mentally. Like, they're not going to have any trouble, and that's why I say, it'll be interesting to see which one of these teams makes it. Because
I would take Dallas.
Well, you should take Dallas. They're up 3-1. Like, they should win the series. But again, we've seen crazier things.
We have. I think you have to favor Dallas in that matchup. All right. Let's get your thoughts in here. Let's go. Big Daddy Magic. Victor doesn't have an interpreter, and he wouldn't put up with gambling. He is of the highest moral character. We'll see how pure you really are.
Let's see how loyal a hungry interpreter really is.
Seriously. Lee Jensen, hello, juicy. 100% of the face if they win down 3-0. Oh, yeah. Juicy. Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
Can you imagine that? Elaine Tran chose violence this morning. I don't like Victor. Wow.
Victor's the way.
Okay. Victor needs to eat a couple of triple cheeseburgers.
Okay.
Jimmy Otson, Dirk was the most marketable foreigner in the NBA since Hakeem.
Agreed. But Dirk was a lot more likable than Luka is.
Neither ever got to face of the NBA status. Marca. No, they did not. And I think Dirk didn't have the personality that Luka's got.
Dirk does have one of the best NBA Finals wins, though.
Best foreign players. Manu Ginobili doesn't have the personality. Tony Parker doesn't have the personality. Yao Ming, phenomenal player. Massive global brand. Didn't have the personality to be a media darling in the U.S.
Yeah.
I look at guys who have historically, Jordan, Kobe, Magic, American players, charismatic personalities, and dominant performers. And again, I think Luka is not an American-born player. He's got the personality. If he wins, I think there's a real chance he could be the face of the NBA.
Yeah.
Until Anthony Edwards steps up and wins, which means he'd probably have to leave Minnesota. But that's just me. Stepanik, who do you think is better in their prime? Jordan, who cares?
Yeah,
I am
here for it.
I've said this on the show in the past. I'll never have that conversation again. You're comparing Oreos to golden Oreos. Like, come on. This game 5 is massive for emotional momentum. If this goes back to Dallas, you're in trouble. Luka legend. The dude has a triple-double for fun, and these clowns call him selfish. Why haven't they won? And again, obviously you're a Luka fan. I just ask you, why haven't they won? And if they don't win now, Luka doesn't deserve the blame? Because the only way they're going to win this series, and the only way they're going to beat the Celtics in the finals, is if drive and kick Luka comes back with a vengeance. Because the one thing you can bet your bottom dollar on is Boston's the best defensive team Dallas will have seen.
Yeah. Better than Minnesota defensively, without a doubt.
Boston is balanced. Boston has all 5 guys can shoot threes. You have a savvy veteran in Al Horford. And if Lively is not healthy, then this is a different discussion. But you better have all hands on deck. And at some point, you're going to have 5 guys on the floor in Dallas who can shoot the three and make it consistently if you're going to beat Dallas. So I'll be interested to see Jason Kidd, who I think has done a lovely job tweaking their lineups and his rotations. Let's see him close out this series, and then let's see what he comes up with against Boston.
Yeah.
Victor, Big Daddy Magic. Victor does need to eat at Buc-ee's. It would change his life. Why aren't the Spurs, giving Victor an extra rack of ribs when they eat dinner? Feed that guy. He needs 30 more pounds. Well, you transform your body in the offseason, not during the season, right? Elaine Tran, Luka slow as hell. Not the most athletic guy, but somehow he gets that hip in front of you.
Savvy player.
And he's talked about how much he's learned from Kyrie. America's favorite anti-Semite is a hell of a ball handler.
Yeah.
And Luka's talked about the fact that he's learned about positioning, ball handling. He's learned about it. I thought it was interesting on the broadcast the other night. They were talking about Luka almost commits a half-court violation every single time he brings the ball up.
Yeah.
And I wonder if we see that in Game 5, if the officials call it, because he puts his left prodigious ass cheek, and it is prodigious. He puts his ass cheek into the guy defending him at half court, and he has a bad tendency of extending his arm on the dribble. And that ball is, a titty's width away from
Skosh.
that center court line. So it's something to watch. Big Daddy Magic. If you ask the ladies who the face of the NBA is, it would not be Victor.
Victor's the way.
It would be Zion Williamson. Would win 1,000% of the vote.
Fat.
Okay. Stepanik, it's Jordan. You never heard anything about anyone trying to steal his shoes.
Okay, well, you keep talking to yourself about that, dude. We're not here for it.
Michael Jordan, when his shoes were released, people were murdered over those shoes. So, just saying. Anyone trying to steal LeBron's shoes? Don't know. Calford, not a black hole. Okay, well, I don't know if we need to get into
Hugh Janus.
Yeah, AI was the player that got closest to face of the NBA status without winning a chip.
That's fair.
That's true.
I don't mind that at all. Yeah. Yeah.
I love my Jordan 3s. I think I have 10 or 12 pairs of 3s. It is the most comfortable Jordan that I own. 3s or 5s.
Yeah.
I wear 1s pretty much every day, but I have too many shoes. Victor is a huge pizza guy, but needs to get some rib steak and learn to love barbecue.
Okay.
Luka legend. What a crock. How many times has he lobbed at the rim? You're really trying to make the argument that Luka is not a black hole. Okay, well, you be that guy.
Have fun.
You be that guy. I'm not a Luka fan, but I'm hoping they finish off the T-Wolves and beat the Celtics. I think it'd be a transformative win for Luka in his career. He's got to have it.
Yeah.
Got to have it. Jordan would average 50 points a game in the modern world NBA. Yeah, but he didn't play in the modern world NBA. It's a problem. AI was like Barry Sanders in the NBA, such a gifted player. Okay. I miss Barry Sanders. Jay. Man, what all these motherfuckers doing in my front door, man? Jay says Anthony Edwards is a different level player. I would not be surprised to see them come back. I wouldn't be surprised to see this go 6. I think that would be. You heard it here, folks. Monty says Luka drives and passes to the corner that Dallas is almost impossible to beat. I couldn't agree more. You know. Luka smells like old bologna.
Okay.
Luka is one of the coolest dudes in the NBA. I see him like 25 times a year. Always good. Okay. That's cool. Boyd Lake. He does stop too close to center court, and it does trigger my basketball OCD. People are starting to notice that. Elaine Tran, Jordan 4s were more comfortable, but Jordan 3s were my favorite. Jordan 4s are
little bulky.
One of my least favorites, but The Jordan 5 and the Jordan 3. The Jordan 9's really comfortable. Somewhere in between the NBA universe and the college football playoff is some fantastic NBA action. Stop taking penalties in overtime. Stop. Connor McDavid, stop. Don't know.
Yeah.
Been amazing to watch. John Stockton is the greatest pure point guard ever to play. Jordan is a GOAT. Have a great day, y'all. Allen Iverson wore the Jordan 13s, LMAO. He also had his own shoe. So there's that.
Mhm.
All right. Can we fight about burgers before we leave, please?
Yeah.
FanDuel, I don't know what you were thinking here.
I mean, this is kind of an embarrassing bracket. I like it. First of all,
kind of.
How in the hell is Shake Shack the number 1 seed?
Because Shake Shack's burgers are phenomenal. You've never had one, admittedly, right?
Yeah.
Their burgers are awesome. Better than their chicken.
Shitty.
How on earth is Five Guys not a better burger than Shake Shack? I would agree with that. And again, can we, and I know this is going to hurt some people. And I don't like saying things that hurt people. It's just not in my nature. Can we stop lying about how good In-N-Out is? Can we just be honest that In-N-Out's fries taste like carrots baked in mud and run through your butt crack? Can we just admit that that's what In-N-Out French fries taste like? We're all on the same page here.
Yeah, I mean,
we're all adults.
Yeah, adults.
In-N-Out French fries suck.
Should Steak and Shake even be on the list?
Oh, hell yes. Steak and Shake is you've never had Steak and Shake. Again, how can you see?
Well, you didn't watch Dallas and you haven't had Steak and Shake, man. Come on. Come on, be better, man. This was the 70s. You should have been around for that. Hello?
What was that? Steak and Shake. I'm not telling you that Steak and Shake is the best ever, or I'm not saying that. What?
Mike Smith's the bottom comment, all the way at the bottom right there.
Uh-oh. I don't know what happened.
Maybe it really was CenturyLink outside. Maybe that's what we should be talking about. Should we talk about it?
I don't know. You're such an asshole.
I'm not the asshole here,
So,
okay?
the other day we're doing the show. The internet goes out. I've had enough.
And this is like the third or fourth time it's happened.
CenturyLink has a box on the outside of our home that's called an ONT. It essentially feeds the fiber signal to the router, and that distributes the internet inside the house. The ONT on the outside of our house is bad. They have to reset it once, at least every other week. They won't replace it unless we pay them. I think the guy said $1,100 it is to replace the ONT. And it's like it's your piece of equipment on the outside of the house. Okay, screw you. I order Xfinity Comcast internet. Talk to the dude. Hey, I need 1,000 gigs up and down. Download and upload. Okay, no problem. We can be there Sunday. Great. Sunday morning, dude shows up, installs the internet. Everything's great. Yesterday, we do a speed test. No problem. Download. You kidding me? Upload 35. That's a mistake. Let's run it again. 26. Not 2,600, not 260, 26 megabytes. Okay, let's get on the Xfinity app, which is very nice. Let's chat with customer support.
It was at this moment that he knew he fucked up.
We don't offer gig upload. We only offer 35 megabytes on the upload. Why is this so hard? Why is it
Stay hard.
that we can't get good internet and good customer service? Comcast sucks at customer service. First of all, I asked for a call back from a supervisor, and I get Jimmy in Istanbul, who doesn't speak, literally does not speak but 3 words of English, calls me. And the only thing the guy can say is, internet okay. Internet's okay. And he moved to plural, internet's okay. And I said to the guy, are you a computer? No, I'm Jimmy. Internet okay.
I'm giving you a fucking answer.
Dude.
And I'm like, what?
Now,
Internet okay.
To stream a show, the upload's more important than the download, right? So having only 35 for the upload is not good.
So he says, have someone call you, and disconnects the call. Okay. A lot of people offshore their customer support. Totally get it. So this guy, Derek, calls me back. Do you think I can understand him? Derek with Xfinity. Hey, Derek, I can't understand you. Internet's fine. Derek, I can't understand you. Internet's fine. That's the whole fucking conversation. I can't understand you. And then all of a sudden, clearly, internet's fine. And then it goes back to disconnects the call. So, Xfinity, internet's fast. Doesn't work. Can't get customer service. Can't talk to anybody.
Complete and utter garbo.
The people you talk to, can't help.
How is it this? My question is, how is it this difficult just to get the internet speed you want? You're not asking for anything specific. You're not asking for something special. Hey, you told me you could deliver this speed. Cool. Happy to pay for it.
And then here's the other thing that's funny. I'm chatting with somebody online, and they're like, okay, I understand that you have an internet problem. And here's where I lost my shit.
Yeah.
Man, I really hope you're having a good day. What's new in your life?
Suckmyass.com.
What's new in your life?
So I literally, I'm in a chat. I type back, I don't want the pleasantries. All I want is my gigabyte of upload. Okay, no problem. Just making conversation while I try to address your issue. Now, remember, at the end of all of this, it turns out they don't offer anything more than 35 megabytes upload, which I pretty firmly believe they knew the entire time. Please stand by. Okay. I'm just sitting here on chat. No problem.
Wasting time.
This person comes back. How are you doing? Not, okay, I have some answers for you. How are you doing?
Vexes me.
And I said I'd be better if I had a gig upload. And then the person was like, oh, let me check on that. And I said, I thought you were checking. My apologies. I was delayed. How can I help you? And I said, you can help me by having Google make internet available in my zip code. And what do you know? All of a sudden they got serious. I'm sorry to hear you're having a bad day. And it turns out that I had been transferred, which I didn't know was a thing on chat. I had been transferred to somebody else. And they said, I'm sorry to hear you're having a bad day. And I said, I'm not having a bad day. I ordered a gig upload, and that's what I'm calling about. And they said, well, I know you need a gigabyte upload, but let's talk about your mobile service. Did you know that Xfinity offers you free mobile service with no data charges and no caps on your minutes for free as an internet customer? And I said, not interested. I'm here to talk about internet. How are you not interested? It's free and it's unlimited data. And so finally, I just typed in there, transfer me to a supervisor. I don't understand why you would need a supervisor when I'm offering you free mobile service. And so I ended the chat. I just turned it off. Got a survey. 0 to 10. How was your experience with your Infinity? I said 0. What do you know? The phone rings. And it's this lady, Janine.
Is this like real Janine or Istanbul Janine?
No, like American Janine. I believe I even said, and she did not appreciate it. I believe I even said, holy shit, you speak English. And she said, I think she said she was in, no, I know what she said. She was in Danville, California.
Wow.
It's like, wow. How can I help you? Hey, here's my problem. I ordered internet that's a gig up and a gig down. And she's like, oh, okay, let me look into that. How's your day going?
Oh, God, here we go.
And I said to this lady, I'm not interested in talking about my life or my day with you. I need a gig of upload speed. Can you help me or not? Just like that. And she said, you sound frustrated and I'm not going to be able to help you because we don't offer upload speed above 35 megabytes per second. And this was it. Right before we ate lunch, I think.
Yeah, it was like mid-morning.
So this is like 11:30, 12 o'clock. And I said, I've been dealing with this for 4 hours and you just now are telling me you don't offer.
And Google Fiber is not available to us, by the way.
I can't get Google Fiber. I can't get good customer service. And they don't offer the service that I ordered that the sales guy on the phone put me into. So the sales guy was disingenuous when he sold me the gig upload speed. But hey, I could get free mobile service if I want. It was 4 hours of pain yesterday. It was 4 hours of pain. It really was. I haven't been that frustrated with a service thing in I don't know how long.
Been a while.
Like it was really.
I just don't understand why it's so difficult, man, to get reasonable service. Like no one's asking you to cure cancer here, bro.
And
like,
what is this thing with Xfinity training their people to ask how your life is going?
Yeah, like I don't know what we're doing there. Like,
why are you asking me how my life is going?
It makes no sense.
You know my life. I rated your service 0, which made you call me. How do you think my life?
Not good, dude.
Right? Like you know the answer. I'm not telling you about my Aunt Susan's rectal problems. I'm not sharing with you about like my golf struggles. Come on, man. Anyway, Mike Smith said that is called karma. You mean bitter, soon to die Mormon? Yes.
Yes.
Yes. This is a scene from Jason Statham's movie. I'm sorry you're having a bad day, Monty. I'm not having a bad day. You're having a bad day. Right? Monty, you should just switch to telegraph service, dude.
See, that would be faster. See,
the upload would be faster.
Yeah, the upload would be faster.
I just wish I had everybody who has Google Fiber loves it. Loves it. But Google's about to get broken. Did you guys hear? Bro, I am shocked to hear that Bing has surpassed Google for the first time ever in a 4-week search volume survey of internet searches. In the last 30 days that covered the month of April and May, Bing has more search volume than Google.
That's weird.
And I think Google, that's very interesting. Very, very interesting to me. I applaud your patience, dude. I was fine until the girl asked me what was new in my life. And then I was just like,
yeah.
And then every subsequent rep asked me that. And the supervisor, I felt like the supervisor finally came around to she was like, I understand you're frustrated. And to her credit, she said, I can see all of this she's called it traffic. I can see all of this traffic you've dealt with this morning. I don't know why they didn't tell you our fastest upload speed is 35 megabytes. Because if you'd have just told me that right out of the gate, this wouldn't have been a conversation. I think they know I was going to cancel my service. But is what it is.
Yeah.
Boyd Lake, Jedi mind tricks on support calls is the worst. It is the worst. It is. And the AI chatbots are even worse.
Garbo.
Stepanik, I dislike talking to customer service. I never want to do it. Who the hell uses Bing? AI must be dicking with the results. Microsoft is spending a buttload of money on Bing and promoting it. And it's working. And I think the other thing is that Google's in this fight with the Justice Department over antitrust about the results that they're serving you. And they've had so many issues, dude.
Yeah, I mean, their reputation is definitely taking a hit.
Dakota says, who the F uses Bing? Mike Smith, Bada Bing. Fat Jesus, hello. I thought Google Fiber was cereal, right? I don't know if anybody here has Google Fiber, but everybody I know that has it raves about it.
Right.
And it's not available to me, unfortunately. Dakota, hey, Monty, I understand that you're frustrated, but how's your day been going so far? It was fine until I found out that my upload speed was slow.
Yeah.
But to their credit, the internet's been lightning fast. We've had no problems.
Outside of that, glitch today.
Yeah, I don't know. DuckDuckGo is popular too. What is DuckDuckGo?
I don't know.
I don't know what that is. I've never heard of that.
Yeah.
All right, that's it. I guess the show's over. Thanks for the conversation. Will you guys do me a favor today? Say something nice to somebody. Go out of your way to say something nice to somebody you know. And if you're at work or you work with somebody, say something nice to them. And then when you're out at the grocery store tonight, walk up to a complete stranger. Maybe you're in line at the grocery store. Maybe you're at Costco gas. Say something nice to somebody for no reason at all, just other than you want to be nice. Spread kindness. Be nice. The Monty Show presented by The Advocates. TheAdvocates.com. The best injury attorneys in the business, where you never pay the advocates out of pocket, because you don't pay the advocates unless and until they win your case. Got bitten by a dog? Call the advocates. Got hit on your bike? Call the advocates. You got screwed by your internet company? You probably shouldn't call the advocates. At theadvocates.com. Chat with an attorney live online for free. Until tomorrow, say goodbye, Jake.
Goodbye, Jake.